What do you sell and where?
Mainly weed and cannabis oil. But I also double in Xanax and ecstasy pills, usually in the East London area. Xanax selling like hotcakes. London loves Xanax. The only problem is that there are a lot of fake Xanax out there.
Is it a word of mouth? Do strangers contact you?
Mostly by word of mouth, but I get contacted quite a bit online. In fact, it's now a good source of income because people who contact you online are generally more willing to part with more cash. But it's bigger risk, of course, because who knows who it will be.
How do they contact you online?
Instagram. You can make a lot of money on Instagram.
How has Instagram changed your business?
Well, many new face. Most of the oil goes to people who contact me on Instagram. Oil can be very hard to get, and I get a lot of oil, so people will part with more money. I have friends who work full time through Instagram sales. I get many unique varieties, and strangers on the internet enjoy them. Although it is more risk, you never know when it will be a police officer.
How do you use that?
I had a vetting process, but if I reveal it, then they will know how to go through it. A lot of this is just common sense. Some profiles are very suspicious and not worth the risk, but some people are clear cannabis enthusiasts.
Have you ever had problems with the police?
No, not while I'm selling. I got a ticket for possession, but that was just a fine and a warning.
What do you do in your free time?
In my free time, I use drugs. I am a simple boy. I ride my bike, I fall off my skateboard, I get off and I walk.
How long have you been dealing drugs and how did you get into it?
I have been selling on and off for like 5 years. You know, growing up in East London, you are surrounded by crime, so it's too easy to fall into them. I'm surprised because I didn't start sooner, to be honest.
Does your mom know what you sell?
She probably have an idea.
Do you have any other job? Does the sale pay the bills?
I consider here is freelancing. It's not all day, every day, but it's usually my main source of income. I work in bars a bit, which help me because that's where half of my clients are.
Do you plan to quit the game?
I don't plan it. I don't know what will happen, but I know drugs will always be part of my life.
Why will drugs always be part of your life?
I have an addictive personality and a substance abuse problem. It's not for any particular drug. I just don't like being sober. I enjoy drugs. I have always been around drugs. I have many friends in the game. It's hard to say for sure, but I don't see things changing. I have other aspirations, you know. But when people see you in a certain way, it's hard to shake that reputation.
Good morning. What is your name?
My name is Ariel.
I would like to listen to your story if you are willing to share something about your past. Tell me something about your history, what you've been through, and where are you today?
I was born and raised in Belfort, California on 15th of November of 1994, and my parents were almost separated. I had a difficult childhood with my family. My parents used to argue a lot when I was 5. years old. When I was 13 years old, I had been through a lot of physical and emotional abuse with my mom and her new husband at this home. He knew he would do me terrified. He will follow me a lot, and I lost my virginity feeling violated, and I affected me a lot, and it changed all my relationship with guys for the rest of my life, and it forced me to the point where I felt like I wasn't safe at home. So I ran away because all the problems that I was facing in the house, and I had to leave the house. The things that your husband did to me affected me in a way I will never forget. I was at a friend's house for 3 months. My uncle looking for me and found me, and she took me to boarding school, and I left when I turned 18 years old, and I started to do drugs in my life. I moved to Miami to buy more expensive drugs.
What type of drugs do you consume?
Um, I became addicted to the heroin that for many years, and later I got cocaine, crack, cocaine, and marijuana.
This is the new young face on fentanyl addiction. 22-year-old Katie made it forehead and chain clothes open by her one fingernails because the use of fentanyl make her skin crawl. I spot her on the street. Surrey infamous drug hang out and ask if she will talk to me, but cover up on her raw.
Usually just did my mascara and I am good to go.
How she ended up living on the street 3 months ago.
It is terrible. I had really addictive personality. I've always been like addicted to something, whether it was shopping on Facebook or whatever. And I did and I got addicted right away, and then I finally I find a regular dealer, and I started thinking up all the time. I remember the day the fentanyl came. Oh, and my dealer said, you know, I got these new birds. They are fake oxys. He didn't tell me they were fentanyl because nobody knew what fentanyl was yet. He just said they are 100 times stranger and they are only $5 more, and I was just like okay, because you know I was getting a very high tolerance at this point.
Fatsis OxyContin led to fakes aiding fentanyl, posing as OxyContin immediately Katie wanted nothing else.
I called by one of these fake ID bots, then into 4 lines would blast me a full day that how strong it was, and if I did a full beer, I would read.
I'm a student and I'm a drug dealer. When you're a student, everyone's on drugs around you, and it's easy to capitalize off that market. Since coming to uni, I've invested in this stuff. Knuckle dusters. I've got an assortment of knives. It's sort of protection. I think most unis have a really big drug problem or drug scene, and obviously, if someone's going to supply it, it might as well have been me. Because if you don't, someone else is. Everyone wants to experiment with drugs when they come to uni. I don't particularly want to have use arms, but I will if I am pushed to it, to protect myself or my friends. So you can sort of wrap it around your hand like that, and then punch someone. I stash my money in a quiet and accessible place, just in case I need to grab it. say I'm being chased or something like that. I stashed my money under the bed. But if someone came into my room, I would keep a knife next to it. So obviously, you get that slashing up guards, you can slash their face or something. Drugs are something which I don't want to continue doing in my life. Like, I know some people do it when they're older, but not the same level as being a student. When I start, I just used to meet people near my house. But I've changed that up now, obviously, because I had a few problems. I don't want people knowing where I live, or I don't want people telling other people where I live. I have had contact with larger gangs or international gangs, and it's only mainly been true when they've tried to mug me or they've tried to sort of make a grab for student areas. I tend to try and avoid them because if you mix with them, it just brings trouble. Like, you are not able to leave the game. I don't want to be responsible for other people's ones, but I'm hoping to quit soon.
Alright, Kamani. Kamani, where you grow up, where are you from originally?
I grew up in Chicago, Chicago Lynn's West Side, 219, Austin area to be exact.
West Garfield Park?
Oh, no, that's great. Phil Austin area, only like I grew up, proximity officer, area I live in Australia to this day.
In West Carolina Park is where I found.
You know, yeah, it's close, you know, to Russia from far, but yeah, it's in. He was a middle year. It goes to the Mali.
Tell me about your family.
Well, my dad did both. My mom and my dad, they grew up with the grade up, which each other day went to school, with each other ended, going up out, having me, you know, dating. I am going to jail for about like 6 and 7 years. So I was going now for him. Probably like most of the beginning of my years and stuff like that. So I really now he like that. So once he did come around, like I was really more with my mom. My mama I didn't want to me with him. Mama didn't want to me around and stuff like. So I like, I don't know, like could really say like I can knew him, but and I could know him like mostly with my mom, like stay backbone, right? You know.
How would you describe your childhood?
Mm, in general, a lesson. One reason I say it was a lesson because now I went further. My life isn't like now. I do not want to despair for this certain stuff. So I think differently of certain stuff because the stuff